at all. I'm assuming he has a den up somewhere, but I haven't seen it. And Leta with slow overlords is going to be able to wreak a lot of havoc with these. Now, this isn't the end of the game, and I would be surprised if Leta makes many more, if any more wraiths, because I'm assuming what he's going to do here is transition into Marines and Science Vessels to try to kind of go into the mid game here. But just a couple turrets up, and that actually could hurt him in the long run. Even with the cloaking, these the wraiths don't do a whole lot of damage, and we are going to see a lot of SCVs go down here. And you notice Leta does not have a whole lot of wraiths here to even do much damage. So this is actually a really good harass here, and I'm kind of amazed at what I'm seeing here, but FireFist is actually doing a ton of damage to Leta. Leta probably underestimating his opponent, not building a lot of anti-air.
Definitely. Leta here, this is really just Leta being careless, in my opinion, not having enough turrets. You know, I saw those mules flying around. I thought FireFist was just being way too slow in bringing his mules in. He should have attacked a long time ago before Leta got his turrets up. But, you know, he's got these turrets. So you can see the left up there on your screen. 2 turrets over there in kind of a weird position to kind of block, but he didn't have any in his actual main base. So I guess bad turret placement. He was kind of hoping the mutalisks would come in from that side or just get scared off, and they didn't. And like you said, wow, just devastating damage. No SCVs there back at his main. He's having to transfer them back, and I don't know exactly how many SCVs were killed, but it looked like a lot. It looks like he's managing some of his SCVs back, but now FireFist actually coming back a little bit in this game because he does have a large group of mutalisks, and like you said, I mean, these cloak wraiths are just going to get picked off slowly. It looks like a first Valkyrie is out, and FireFist needs to be careful. He needs to back up those mutas, or those mules are going to get owned by that Valkyrie. Wow. Does get a couple more shots off, but the mulas do survive, and that Overlord barely survives as well. And it looks like he does have speed overlords now, so that's going to help against cloak wraiths. And now he's going in. FireFist being very aggressive now. He wasn't doing this earlier. He gets a surround on the Valkyrie. Good surround. Valkyrie does not get taken down, but the bunker does get taken down. Lings are now in the front. I do think he's got to be careful with these mutalisks, though. Oh, man, and that Valkyrie survives again. Good micro by Leta. But now FireFist is really starting to shove some units down. What's his name? Leta's face down his throat, and he's gonna have to pull all his SCVs here. And I now think Leta's gonna maybe lose this game unless he can pull some clutch Terran turtling here. And he's using his SCVs to fight. SCVs do block that ramp, so they are making a little bit of a wall there. Ooh, losing a Valkyrie there. That's not a good idea. But right now, oh man, I think Leta's going to lose this game because he doesn't have any units producing that can kill these mutalisks, and he doesn't have anything he can really move out with. He's building some Firebats to try to go for a counter, but that's probably not going to do it. One Valkyrie to defend. The only way I could see Leta losing this game is if FireFist just gets scared and backs up now, but FireFist, again, he's already got his 3rd base up, probably on 4 or 5 hatcheries, and Leta has just been losing SCVs left and right.
I should mention that one thing that we didn't mention in the attack that FireFist did on Leta on his mineral line there is FireFist had that Overlord that he saved, and the Overlord that he saved came up from the bottom, which was how he was able to see the race and kill the race. Now, the race were able to kill the Overlord, but not before FireFist was able to kill, you know, 5 out of the 6 or however much it was there. So that was actually really smart by FireFist, and probably why he wanted to save that Overlord. That was probably a build and a plan that he had from the beginning of this map, was to use that Overlord because he knew Leta is a Wraith player and does tend to lean on that. And he does have 2 Valkyries out now, so this is something that is certainly going to help. We haven't seen any Science Vessels, which is what we originally thought the Science Facility was built for.
I was going to bring that up. I think 2 huge mistakes Leta's made this game. 1 is bad turret placement, and 2 is that he didn't build a Science Vessel. He relied too much on Wraith, and like you said, if you're going to go maybe 2-port Wraith and get a ton of Wraith out, and just rely completely on Wraith to defend yourself, then okay, you know, we've seen him do that pretty effectively. He's done it against Jaedong, and Jaedong actually just went all mutalisks. And it looks like mutalisks coming in here with the Scourge. Scourge is going to be able to pick off Valkyries. Valkyries not running away fast enough. 1 gets caught, 2 gets caught, both of them get caught. Good micro by FireFist that time, and all the Valkyries are down. Honestly, if FireFist just built some Lings or maybe even some Lurkers or something, he could probably just take Leta down. But either way, he can just sit this game out and just build up his advantage and continue to beat Leta in the economic game. But yeah, not building a Science Vessel, Leta early on, if he would have had a Science Vessel, that would be totally different. I mean, that's a standard play. You get a Science Vessel, that counters Mutalisks, but he didn't, and he only had, like you said, 3 or 4 wraiths, whether they were cloaked or not, is just not going to cut it. So he really didn't commit. his turret placement was bad overall. I don't know what threw Leta off, but I just didn't like his build.
I don't like it either. I don't know. I mean, again, I feel like he underestimated his opponent. Not that FireFist has been playing godly in this match. He's not doing anything crazy. You do see lurkers there, so Steve, he is going to go and probably try to get some sort of contain on. At least he's going to be able to fight back this measly little Medic Marine force and Firebat force, even with the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie goes down, and then, I mean, it's pretty much over, and that's what he's going to do, try to distract it. Valkyrie is going to go down here, and Leta's not focusing fire on the Scourge, and oh man, that's pretty much it for that force there. And FireFist with a good combo attack there. I gotta say, that was actually some pretty good multitasking and able to get all those units down. So again, FireFist is certainly playing solid. He's playing better than we usually see him play. And you know, even with Leta's build, I mean, he is holding on. He still does just have 2 bases, and at the moment, it looks like FireFist is still satisfied with just 3 bases right now. So, and here comes the contain, just like we said before. So he is going to contain this base here, and I feel like at this point Leta is kind of prolonging the end. I mean, Leta doesn't have the resources to build another base, to build another command center, or move out. And meanwhile, obviously, FireFist has not been harassed this entire game and is flourishing. There is the 4th base going up there. So, I mean, I love Leta as a player. I just feel like he's been real lackluster this game.
Well, a lot of people have been saying, I guess that Leta hasn't been playing that well lately in the Pro League. I haven't followed the Pro League that much. But still, I mean, Leta's still certainly a force to be reckoned with. I just think that his build here was kind of bad, or his execution of the build at least was poor. And it looks like another drone going out, so that's going to be the 5th base for FireFist. So FireFist is going to be sitting very comfortably. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Drop upgraded. We did see that FireFist was getting the Hive, so he's definitely going to have the Flowers out pretty soon. But considering he already has Speed Overlords, it wouldn't surprise me if he got Drop and maybe try to drop some of those Overlord or some of those Lurkers in there. And it looks like actually a Greater Spire. Right. So that's interesting on Destination to see a Greater Spire. Not something you see too often. I don't really know why FireFist is doing that. He could probably just play this game totally standard and still win. Looks like Leta is going to be able to break out of his base. Nice little defense matrix trick there. If you defense matrix a Marine, the Lurkers are going to want to attack that Marine instead of the other Marines. So unless you're target firing, that does help you be able to survive Lurkers, you know, a little longer than you normally would. So it looks like that contain is going to be pushed back, but just back a little bit. He still hasn't actually fully broken out of his base.
I think that FireFist is going for Guardians because he's going to transition into a ground army here. So he's just going to use the some of the Mutalisks he has, just convert them into Guardians, and then probably try to do a multi-pronged attack from the front and the back. And I think when that happens, that is going to be the breaking point for this game. Right now, you know, FireFist just has so many more units. Leta certainly getting tech. I mean, he has his tanks out, but he's just behind. He spent so many resources on his little Wraith build that failed, and on tons of Valkyries, probably what, 5 or 6 Valkyries so far. Those are expensive units, one of the most expensive units in the game, as far as, I guess, compared to its size or usefulness. And we just see this contain just kind of growing. Not necessarily contain, but just a lot of units massing out outside of Leta's base. Here come the Guardians, so the Guardians are going to try to go for an attack here. And again, even here, because Leta has pretty much transitioned to ground, now he doesn't have a whole lot of anti-air, obviously, than the Marines, of course. So this is what Leta should have done, and he is moving out well. He is slowly kind of warding back the attackers, but that is a lot of Lurkers and a lot of units. And great job here by FireFist. He's going to try to pick off the tanks. Leta's going to come up here. FireFist has to be able to multitask. He's getting a good kind of semi-surround here, pushing back, but and a good job with the Scourge as well, pushing back Leta. I wouldn't say that was the best micro by FireFist, and Leta got quite a few kills, but the problem is FireFist just has so many more units. He has so many Lurkers. Meanwhile, back at the base, just picking off the tanks.
Yeah, and I think that's what the Guardians...
There you go.
There's GG. I think that's what the Guardians were designed for, were to pick off the tanks, and it was kind of weird that they actually got separated from the rest of the units, but overall, it didn't matter how well Leta controlled his units at the end there, because he just didn't have enough. His careless mistakes in his build early on just led to a big lead by FireFist, and I'm surprised. I guess we're going to see FireFist versus Best. Zerg is Best's worst matchup, so hopefully he can pull something out to beat FireFist. I sure hope so. But we're going to see then Leta move on to the losers match, where he's going to play... Piano, thank you.
He's going to play a piano?
So stay tuned for that.
Right.
Oregon is going to play the piano.
Yeah!